Alright, Gulper. I'm going to do this team because I haven't actually recorded this team and I want people to know about it because it's one of the easiest things I've ever done in my life. This team makes Gulper so stress-free, you have no idea. So the team, the team that I've got recorded for Gulper is Washbuckler, Sprocket and Whirlwind. I stand by that team, it's amazing and it will get you the 400k consistently, but it does require some pretty tough runes. Same with this team, it does require some good runes. Not that good, but good. Particularly on, I wouldn't say gear shift's that important. My gear shift's 4-star plus 5 awakened. You could do it at 4-star base awakened with like 10,000 hit points, you'll be absolutely fine. And I'm going to prove that to you because I literally haven't gone below half health this entire fight with any of these guys. Half health. I'll show the runes at the end. I'm at just before 300k, 26 minutes in, so I'm only half time. All I've been doing the entire time is cycling between both of Wash's skills and Whirlwind's charge skill, and then putting a Whirlwind skill on when I get the chance to. Everything, I haven't touched gear. I did 1 or 2 skills for gear because I was overfilled and I had Whirlwind charging and he was knocked down. So I had to, basically. But other than that, that was just when I just had far too much mana, so just spend it on gear skills. Don't touch her. This is so ridiculously simple. You just, I said in the last time, Whirlwind's charge skill, don't put it in when charge it up all the time, but do not put it in Q. You want to put it in Q after the single target, but before the AoE. If the AoE comes, so the single target is the blue icon, the AoE is the green icon. If you look at Gulper skills on the left. So if he puts them both in sequence, wait until the AoE has been used and then use Whirlwind's charge. You definitely want her charge maxed for this. Definitely. It basically overkills this fight. It's what makes this fight a complete overkill. And you're just going to sit there and go backwards and forwards between Washbuckler skills because the second skill is 1 mana. You'll want to try and, I would say, ignore the usual. I usually go by the 1 turn rule. So when he has 1 turn left, you wanna get your blind in then, just in case you might have like 150, like 5 to 159 EA, and it might miss. So you want to have it in 1 turn before. I would say ignore that because without Sprocket, Wash's skills will 95% of the time be 2 turn. Sorry. 2 turn, not 3 turn. So you want to be just going until the end of the turns because it's just going to be so much nicer. If you're overflowing on mana, you might as well use skill 2 and just get another one in there because it will do most damage. I've put a bit of crit rate. I've only got 50, but I put a little bit of crit rate on Wash, and that helps me get a bit of extra damage. And he's got about 6,500 attack. Other than that, he's got nothing really special. A load of defense and hit points, and that's the best I could do with 6,500 attack. So yeah, I'm gonna finish off the raid. It's not difficult. I haven't run into problems. You might be thinking charge skill, you just tank it. Gear shields just cover it completely. As I say, it hasn't brought me below half health yet because the shield just absorbs so much of the charge. So, but the thing that I said that you don't need much on gear at all, that is completely true because gear's shields affect gear. You just need gear's health to be above Whirlwind and Wash's and their two to be quite high. but I found that they do better. Weirdly, it was weird to me when I noticed this. They do much better when you put them on high defense over putting them on like really high defense and good hit points, strong hit points, over doing mediocre defense and really high hit points, which you'd think would be logically it would make sense to put more hit points on them because the shield affects that. But I found that swapping out a hit point rune for a defense rune actually hurts me more because I'm tanking more of the hit and then just use the hit points as a little bit of a bonus on the end. It's strange. So I think Whirlwind's got about 2500 defense and Wash has got about 2700. And then Gear is at 2400. But then Gear's got piles more hit points because it just helps her out. I don't know why. It might just be my runes, I've got no idea, but that's just how it seemed to work for me. So yeah, so that's the idea. Is just Wash's skills and then Whirlwind's charge skill, making sure you get that key bit right. That's the only bit of tech. It's just getting that bit right of like after the single target but before the AoE. And if the AoE is skilled, don't put it in Q. That's it, and just tank the charges and just tank everything. So let's go. So I knocked him down. So he's used the AoE. This will probably knock Whirlwind out. It didn't. And then after the single target, get her in, and then I'm going to put that in. Put both of Wash's skills in. Get Gulper out whenever you can, and put the defense buff on. That's just a nice bit of extra damage. Then I didn't tank his skill because I got Gulper taking the hit, and he's dead anyway. Okay, then I need to pray. It didn't, good. Oh, and if you miss the rotation, it doesn't matter. As long as you don't get that skill knocked out of Q, you'll be totally fine. Cool. And then I'm going to chuck in Whirlwind skill 1 because I've got a bit of extra. And then I'll chuck in that skill because he's going to put that in Q, and then I can put Wash's skill afterwards. And that's totally fine. So you definitely want Wash on 160 EA. Like normally I say, oh, if you have 155 you can probably get away with it. In this case, no, I wouldn't chance it. I'm just going to use that skill because I've got extra mana. Then he's put it in Q. I need to put this one in regardless. It might get knocked out, that's fine. Because it's only one turn. Because then I get Whirlwind skill in and it knocks out the stun turn. I'm just going to chuck the thing because I've got extra mana and he used it anyway, so it's fine. I'm going to use that skill because I've got. If I'm overflowing, I'm going to use a skill. And it takes a couple of seconds. And then you get Whirlwind skill back in after that. I'm not quite at the point. I'm just going to use his F1. Then I'm going to use that skill afterwards when he goes down to 0 turns. Then I'll just put that in because I've got spare turns. Then he gets that in. I'm going to put Gulper in. He's got attacked anyway, which is lovely. I found that he tends to attack the enemies with the least health where possible. Get that in because I've got the spare mana. Perfect use of stun anyway. So then Whirlwind's charged, but he's got the stun in, so we'll only put it in afterwards. And then I'm going to put Wash's skills in afterwards. Get Whirlwind charging again. Perfect timing to get that in there. The reason why you want it after the single target is also to do with the fact that he puts on the defense break turn, and you don't really want to deal with that because it can hurt. So just get rid of it. It gets rid of the defense break turn, and it just makes everything a lot nicer. Because that can hurt. The charge skill does next to nothing. Not the charge skill, the AoE does next to nothing. It just potentially stuns you, and that just knocks a wall. That's all the stun's really doing to you. That's all the AoE's doing to you. It stuns you and knocks your AoE out of charge. It knocks your charge skill out of rotation, and means that you can't skill it. So basically, just by being aware of that, you can just plan around it and just not put it in queue. I'm putting Gulper in there just to get the defense break turn, because it's just nicer. Then I've got 2 turns, but I'm going to have the mana up anyway, so I might as well just chuck the skill in queue. And I'm already back to it. There we go, bang, another one of those skills, another one of those skills. Gulper's defense broken, do I really care? No. Then I'll chuck in Whirlwind skill 1, because that'll put a defense up on someone, which I think in this case is Washbuster, if it just wasn't attacked. Hasn't got a defense turn on, charge skill. Might as well just put that in. What the hell is that? And then he stunned Whirlwind when he didn't have the charging Q, so that's absolutely fine. I was just about to use it use that. Knocks him down. There you go, 350k in under 35 minutes. Lovely. When you use this, I'm still overfilled with mana. So he will knock the Q out of the charge out of Q when it is charging, but what he won't do is knock it out of Q when it's finished charging. And that's the key thing, is if it finishes charging, don't put it in Q, he's got the AoE. I should have used this before mana, but that's fine. That's just a little, like, all you're trying to do is you're just trying to take advantage of him and just put as many random skills in queue as you can. I slipped up a tad there and Gulper took the hit. Does it matter? Absolutely not. It's the stun turn. If the stun turn is the last one, it can stitch you over. That's literally the only way that this boss can get any like form of advantage against you, is if that particular rotation happens and it stitches you over it. And I'm going to get knocked down again. I might as well put the 2 turn in, because he's gonna like kill him in one hit anyway. You have to decide early if you want to go for a whirlwind charge or if you want to go for her skill. So what you don't want to do really avoid is putting Whirlwind's charge in queue, then queuing some of Wash's skills, and then going back to queue some of Whirlwind skills afterwards. That's kind of awkward and yeah, inadvisable. Looks like we're going to close this one out in virtually 40 minutes. A little bit over, I think, because I have to do the whole ticking my way over 40 minutes. But we've got, like, if it was like a straight to the end sort of ordeal, I'd be pretty confident finishing this in 40 minutes. I think I think I'm just over. So I'll probably be like 42, I think, as I'm going to start slowing myself down once I think I can get one more knockdown, and then I can use that to just propel gear over it. Here we go again. And then, yeah, as I said, lower health. And it's usually done on percentage, I've found. Right, now 281 goes to 500. I can get one more of those in and then I'm done. One more of these. Go for that. And one more of these and then I'm done, I think. There we go. Boom. So just use gear shift at the end just to take yourself closer and closer until you feel comfortable, and that's what I feel comfortable with. Get myself over 399 and then just stop. Nice and easy. I didn't even check the timing at the end. Look at that 2 million heal, I love it. I love that, I love it. Every single time I see it. Just glorious. That's the one that'll go on the screenshot. So I said runes. What to do about runes? So, the runes that I'm using, here's Whirlwind's runes. I said 2500 defense, 7.5k attack, 8600 hit points. You saw how little problems I ran into in this raid. So yeah, you don't need this high. This is a really good whirlwind. I'm really happy with my whirlwind, I have to say. You don't need this high stats. And I can tell you now, every single rune in this is blue or worse. Blue 6-star, a grey 6-star to blue 6-star. It's somewhere in that region. So you don't need this high stat. As I said in the Wolfgang invasion, Whirlwind's only focus is these two stats. Every single stat here, no one cares about. So, yeah. So you just want these two stats high. They don't need to be this high. They need to be kind of high, but not as high as this. I would say the defense stat is quite important, but the attack stat a little bit lower, 6k-ish. You'll probably be fine. And the hit point stat I would say is about right. I also had Washbuckler, so my Washbuckler's max, not 27. I did have him on 27 and then I changed his rune 3. So he's on a 25 as well, but a bit more hit points and a bit less attack, and he's fine. And then I said, yeah, the little bit of crit rate helps, and you definitely want the 160 EA as a minimum, because that will guarantee hitting it. So yeah, you don't want to be relying on the extra turn rule. So yeah, so the crit rate helps, but as you saw, he was glancing half the time. I don't know why, but he was just glancing a lot. So yeah, it's not necessary. It just makes you run fast if he happens to crit. So just focus on getting the good attack stat and you'll be fine. And then gear, my gear is, well, mixed feelings about my gear. She's pretty good. Sorry, she's like way down because she's only 4-star. So she's 4-star plus 5, but I've got her some pretty good runes. I think 2 of them are purples and the rest are like blues and greens. So attack is virtually irrelevant. In fact, I would recommend putting less attack on her where possible, because you don't want her doing anything. I actually have an attack rune on her, but only because, and I haven't even bothered plus 15 in this rune, only because it's got some decent block rate and decent hit points, and I thought it was more worthwhile to her. So I've got some decent hit points on her because I've got 2% runes. I think that with my base stats, adding on the 2% runes and the 2032, that gets her most of the way, because it's basically a 100% addition, so you basically, that gives her 12,000 hit points, which is all you need. Literally, all you really need on gear is some decent defense runes, and then a % rune here, slot 4, a % rune here, and a plus 15 flat rune there. HP, and you basically get her all the stats she ever needs, which is 12,000 hit points. And then some decent defense and she'll be absolutely loaded. In terms of skill ups, I maxed out her shield. That's a really, really good one to max, just to give you a bit of an edge. But it mainly helps. I don't know if it really helps this fight that much. Yeah, because the AoE only takes one count off, so it helps. So yeah, that's stats. And obviously I said earlier that I should have collected them first. But yeah, I maxed out this charge skill. I mean, I maxed it out on my mini account on the last beginner's guide episode. So yeah, obviously this is on my main ages ago. So this is a really good skill. And here's a good reason one. I did max out. I did level 2 this one by accident. My finger slipped. I think that was one of the first skill ups I did. So you don't need that. You really don't need that at all. It's just a finger slippage, and it helps a bit, I guess, but it's not the end of the world. So that's the team, and happy getting 400k really, really easily. Best of luck.